Today we are going to start with the second specimen. It belongs to family Solanaceae and the genus is called Petunia hybrida. There are a number of species. We have almost 20 species which belong to genus Petunia, and most of these species which are cultivated, they are hybrids. Okay, so that's why we name the species as hybrida. Now, before going into the details, let's observe this video first. You can see this is a flowering branch of Petunia, and this has leaves. You can see leaves, they are simple leaves, and if you look at the back surface of the leaves, we have a central midrib. So it has unicostate reticulate venation, and if you can notice, the texture of the leaf is fleshy. Okay, a little damage has resulted in the loss of moisture. It's quite fleshy leaf. Whole surface is covered with fine hairs. There is a woolly mass on the surface. The leaves are simple. And see the pattern of inflorescence, one towards this side, another towards this side. Then again, this is towards the left hand side. Okay, so we have solitary flowers, single solitary flowers, but they are showing the pattern of the zigzag pattern, okay, the scorpioid pattern. Okay, these are the two pictures in order to show there are number of colors available. Okay, you can observe magenta color, we have a red variety in India, then black colored petunias are there, we have white colored species, they are very common. White colored species, they are generally grown, they are seen growing in the barren areas as well. It's a perennial plant, you can observe it throughout the year. Okay, now what you have to write on your file. So the left hand side, you will write the title Petunia hybrida, and in the right corner, you will write its classification. No need to write this division and subdivision. You can directly start from class as we mentioned in Solanum nigrum. So class is Dicotyledone, subclass is Gemopetalae, series Bicarpellatae, order Polymoniales, family Solanaceae, genus Petunia, and species Hybrida. You have to underline these two. As you know, as per the rules of binomial nomenclature, the name of genus and species should be written in italics or they should be underlined separately. Okay, so you need to underline these. Now, first diagram, you will make a flowering branch. Okay, as we have seen in the video also, so this is a flowering branch in which we have simple leaves. The leaves, they are having unicostate reticulate venation. You can make this central midrib a bit thick as we have observed in video also. This is the thick from the base, and towards the apex you can narrow it down, and number of flowers are there. So flowers, this is the front view of the flower, petals are fused. You will label this diagram, okay? So you will mention here leaf, flower, sepals, stem. Then second diagram will be VS of flower. So in the VS of flower, you will draw a thalamus and you can make it hairy. Okay, as we have observed, all plant parts, they are hairy. On that you will draw a ovary, and ovary in the center you will show a partition towards both sides we have placenta having number of ovules having the axile placentation, and from just close to this you will start the corolla tube. Corolla tube here is funnel shaped, so you will make that corolla tube just close to the ovary, and it should be very narrow. Okay, but as you move upward, then you can increase its wings and you will make the irregular lobed corolla. It is fused. In the center, you will make the extension of ovary as the stigma and style. Now the problem here is style is twisted. I'll show you in the video. So you will make it like this, twisted. Okay. So when you are drawing style, right at the base, you will give a fine twist to the style. It is twisted. It's a proper feature that is observable in the flower. So this much part, it should be like this. Then it is straight and it ends into a bilobed stigma, which is very sticky. Then these are the anthers. So this also should be labeled anther, stigma, style, sepals, ovules, ovary, thalamus. You can write filaments also. Corolla. Okay, and now the difference. In Solanum, all these things were present, but here in this case, we have the nectaries present. Okay, you will observe small yellow-orange colored nectaries at the base. Okay, so you have to mention these, draw these. Now, how we draw these? You should be careful. Okay, I'm just drawing the basal portion. Let's suppose we have this thalamus. On this thalamus, you will draw the ovary. Ovary you can make slightly elongated in this case. I'll show you in the video. It is elongated. Okay, and it will be further projected into the style with a twist. Okay, now you will draw the double wall. I'm using graphic pad. It may not be having the uniform width. You be careful while drawing it. So in the center there is the swollen placenta. Okay, you will make it swollen. NTS means when we are representing in the floral diagram as well as in VS. So this is the swollen placenta, and on its surface we have the ovules. So these are the ovules having axile placentation. Many ovules in each loculus. Ovary here is bicarpellary. It is just like Solanum. Exactly same. Okay. Now let's suppose you are drawing the corolla tube from here. Okay, it will go straight. This way. Straight. Now you will mark nectaries in this. Now where nectaries? See, in between the wall of ovary and corolla tube. Okay, here the nectaries are present. So be particular when you are drawing, and outside we will have the sepals. Okay, their tips are round, not pointed, round. And all these structures, they are hairy. So this is how you will draw. You will show the position of nectaries and you will label them. So two prominent nectaries, they are present in flowers of Petunia. Okay. So this is how you will draw VS, vertical section. Now on the next page, towards the blank side, you will draw a floral diagram. Now it should be exactly like this. Okay. You will have mother axis I'm labeling it, but you need not labeling. We never label floral diagrams. This is just for your reference. So we have mother axis. Mother axis represents the main shoot on which flower is born. Then you have the whorl of calyx. So there are total 5 sepals and they are fused. They have volvate estivation, so there is no overlapping of the ends. Then the next whorl is of corolla. So there are 5 petals. They are also fused. They have volvate estivation. And in this case, we see that the gap between the calyx and corolla, I told you earlier also it should be minimum as possible. Then we have this androecium. Androecium, here you will draw the filaments of same length, and there is a minor variation when we observe the video. You will yourself notice a minor variation in the length is there, but here in the diagram we will show exactly of the same length filaments, and they will have the bitheecous anthers. Now these bitheecous anthers, they should be drawn properly. If you are drawing this, the base, okay, let's suppose this side is the filament, then you will draw, this is the one lobe and this is the second lobe. Okay, don't make butterflies and don't make like this. No. So it should be like this. So we will have 5 and there is a huge gap in between. It's not like solanum. There is no connate condition here. But they are attached to the corolla whorl. That's why we say that they are epipetalous. Gynoecium is exactly same. We have obliquely placed ovary. It is bicarpellary, syncarpous. In the center there is swollen placenta, and we have number of ovules which have axial placentation per loculus, and 2 nectaries, they are present at the notch. Okay. Now we missed this diagram in solanum. You have to draw always in all these flowers. You have to draw TS of ovary showing axial placentation in the end. So here also you will draw, and labeling is also required. See, this is a separate question that you get in your paper. You have to show the condition of ovary or stamens. So there you need to draw this diagram. So you will label it as ovary wall. Then this empty space is loculus or locule. These are ovules. This is nectary, and we have placenta. Okay, so these 5 labeling should be there, and in the title you will mention the placentation, type of placentation, as it is showing axial placentation. And in the end there will be floral formula of Petunia alba or hybrida. You can write any species. So flower here is, you can see bract here. So flower is bracteate. Then it is ebracteolate, actinomorphic, bisexual, K5 fused, C5 fused, A5 epipetalous, gynoecium 2 fused superior. Okay, so floral formula is exactly same, just the difference of presence of bract. Otherwise it is same as solanum nigrum. Okay, now coming to the right hand side, you will write Petunia hybrida. Its habit, it's a cultivated annual ornamental herb. Vegetative character, it's your wish whether you want to give these 2 titles or not. You can directly write it as such, because in the previous section we mentioned the systematic position in the beginning. So you can follow the same pattern for all flowers. Okay, it's not a compulsion to mention these headings. So you will write systematic position, then you will mention habit, then root. So it has branched taproot. Stem, it is aerial, erect, cylindrical, branched, hairy, you have seen, solid, herbaceous and green in color. Leaves, they are colline and ramal. I told you colline means the leaves which are present on the main axis, main stem, and ramal are the leaves which are present on stem branches. Then leaves here, they are exstipulate, they are sessile or subsessile, alternate in vegetative region and opposite or subopposite in floral region. They are simple, entire, ovate, hairy, green, unicostate, reticulate. So this is a venation. Inflorescence is solitary, axillary. Then you will mention flower. It is bracteate, pedicellate, complete, perfect, regular, actinomorphic, hermaphrodite, hypogynous, hermaphrodite, or you can write bisexual. Okay, it is one and the same thing. Hypogynous, pentamerous in outer three whorls, tetracyclic, this is not required. Infundibuliform, it is Dibuliform. Infundibuliform means funnel shaped. Then beautiful, this is not required. Variably colored, large sized. Then calyx, sepals 5, gamosepalous 5 partite because from the tips they are free, campanulate, green, hairy, persistent and inferior. Then corolla is petals 5, gamopetalous, infundibuliform, 5 fid, tubular, hairy on outer surface, lower tube long and spreading into a broad lobed limb. Okay, and it's not mentioned here. It is variously colored, inferior. Then androecium, stamens 5, polyandrous, epipetalous, basifixed, anthers, no comma here, anthers bithecus, filaments long and of unequal lengths. I told you. Then dehiscence longitudinal, intros inferior. Intros means the cut or the line of dehiscence towards ovary, towards the inner side. Then gynoecium, bicarpellary, syncarpous, superior ovary, obliquely placed with regard to mother axis. You can skip this. Obliquely placed you can directly mention. Bilocular, placentation exile with swollen placenta, style single twisted. Twisted, where it is twisted? Twisted at the base. Stigma bilobed and sticky. This you will write in continuation, okay? No gap is required. Two nectar glands present on either side of the septum below ovary. On either side of the septum. You can simply mention 2 nectar glands are present on sides of ovary. Okay, fruit here is a capsule. Capsule, what is a capsule? It is a many seeded, dry, dehiscent fruit. Okay, so this is the flowering branch. This is a flowering branch. You can see here the stem is herbaceous and the arrangement of leaves in the floral part region, because here now the inflorescence is arising. There it is opposite. You observe 2 leaves per node, but otherwise if you look at a plant in general, it is an alternate arrangement. Then you can see from the axil the flower is arising and it's a single flower from the axil. So inflorescence here is solitary, means single, solitary, axillary. And at the base of the flowers you can see these sepals. Sepals are 5, they are fused. Then you have this corolla tube, a very narrow tube which and the upper portion is spread out. This is in the form of funnel. You can see here the ribs are present, the veins, they are clearly observed in this case. These are the lines of fusion, and if we see the opened flower, Now this structure, this is style. You can see stigma over it, and these transparent structures are filaments. We have anthers. This is hairy corolla tube. These are hairy sepals. Okay, and at the base, this structure, the green color structure, this is ovary. Now we'll have a look on the video for the better clarity. So you can see here we have the open flower. Okay, and in this flower at the base, hairy sepals are present. They are fused at the base, but their more than half portion it is cut open, so it is a partite condition. See, this is the ovary, green colored ovary. It's just like the size of a wheat grain, smaller than that. And at the base there is a yellow dot, that is nectary. Okay, if we press it, the stigma will come out. This is a style and stigma. Stigma, see, it is sticky, and when you keep it, you can see the twisted base. So at the base this is twisted. Okay, hairy. So you can observe it once again. Hairy sepals, hairy corolla tube, twisted style at the base, green colored ovary. When I'm taking it out, nectary. See there, yellow colored sticky mass, nectary. This one. Okay, twisted style. It comes out very easily. It's hairy, broad, base is broad and it is sticky. Okay, now we'll see second video. Now these are the essential parts, these stamens. In the center you can see stigma also, the green colored structure, and you can count the number of stamens here. So we have total 5 stamens, and see the lengths of filaments are unequal. Okay, so you can, but it's not a huge gap of the height, just minor differences, so they are unequal. You can see here all 5, this is 1 2 3 4 5, and this is a stigma. From here itself you can make out that this is wet in texture, so it is sticky. Okay, and the base of the filaments, they are fused with the corolla tube, so it is the epipetalous condition. Okay, now this is about the fruit. Okay, the fruit in this case is a capsule. So all these, they are capsules. Capsules are dehiscent fruits. They are many seeded. These are the seeds of petunia. And when it splits open, okay, it has a kind of a rolling mechanism. It's a example of autochory, self-dispersal. You can see these structures, pointed structures here. They are called retinacula. These retinacula, they help in just rolling, in pushing the seeds, and by the rolling mechanism they get dispersed to distant places. So see, at the base of each seed you can observe these retinacula, they are present. Okay, so this is an example of what? An example of autochory. Okay, and this fruit is what? It's a capsule. So that's all about petunia. I hope the presentation was clear. Now draw it properly on your files.